Welcome to Brazil.
I had no idea what to expect. It was my first time overseas, my first time on any missions trip, so I was kind of like nervous. But as soon as my foot stepped off that plane, God gave me like a really bold and confident demeanor about myself, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
It was a dream team that set foot in their country, and we began to walk through the airport. I just knew right off we was here to do some damage to the spirit of darkness.
I had to keep reminding myself, like, you're in Brazil, you know? Like, I knew I was coming, but to actually be there and to, you know, get in the car on the way there just to see how different it was.
I can honestly say the Leah that went to Brazil and the Leah that came back is totally different. And I've never in my entire life thought that God could use me. Like, Leah, little old Leah, like, you know, he's God. It's like he picked me to use me to do, you know, the things he had me do. And it's an overwhelming feeling to just know that we did damage in Brazil. Like, the people will never be the same. The country will never be the same.
One day we went to the favelas, and seeing the favelas riding past, you know, on a plane, it looks, you know, kind of cool with different colors and, you know, like a mountain. It just looks cool, but when you go into the favelas, the smell and what it looks like is just, it's unbearable. When I seen the kids, you know, playing and, you know, with no shoes on, and that was the normal for them.
You couldn't tell like where they come from, where they praise God, how much hunger they have for God. Just their hearts and their minds are so, you know, God-oriented. It's really powerful to see that.
Pastor Keith asked us to do a prayer walk. As we started walking, we broke off into groups. And I was a bit afraid when I started walking, you know, through that area. It's like everybody was looking at me. And so you just felt it. And as I started praying more and more, I asked God to, you know, have people notice us, have people, you know, feel the power that was coming out of us. And so as we continued to walk, people stopped their conversations and was more engaged of like, okay, what are they doing? What are they here for? So that was really a great experience for me.
To know that I can pray for someone and something can happen because of God, it's crazy, because I didn't know I had all that in me. I didn't know that God could use me like that. I mean, I knew I had God in my heart, but it's way more than I thought in this little body, for real. And it's crazy.
Seeing the Christ Redeemer statue in person, like, it's one thing you always see it on TV, you know, online, on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
When you get there, it's just breathtaking. The view of Rio is amazing. People were like laying on their backs just to get the whole statue in the picture. That's how tall it was. Definitely once in a lifetime experience.
I just want to say thank you, Bishop and co-pastor, for giving me the opportunity to go overseas. And I want to thank God for seeing something in me.
To go overseas for the first time for a missions trip is very, you know, it's such a blessing to go. I was used in ways I never thought I could be used, and I'm very excited to go again.
My life would never be the same. I was stretched in ways I've never thought, you know, I would be stretched. I was used, and even though I was blessing people, I was blessed in the process.
I'm thankful for Bishop and co-pastor for allowing God to use them to bless each and every one of us with desires of our hearts that we didn't even know we had, and that in itself definitely brings tears to all of our eyes, but makes a big smile on all of our hearts. That God thought so much of us to use our spiritual leaders, our spiritual covering, to do such a thing. And I look forward to going again, and we're just so thankful. Thanks, we love you.